In for review this week is the stylish and sophisticated Polestar 2. But what the heck is this all-electric vehicle, and what's a Polestar? Well, for starters, Polestar is an automaker, not the latest reality show on TLC. Get it? Polestar? Oh, come on, that's funny. Gosh. In all seriousness, Polestar is part of Geely, a Chinese automotive conglomerate that owns a vast array of brands, including Lotus, Lynk & Company, Smart, and even Volvo. Polestars are based on Volvo models, though they are not reskins of Gothenburg's leftovers. Polestar focuses on sustainability, sleek design, and enhanced driving dynamics, elements that make the company's vehicles feel unique, even if they are a bit familiar. As for the Polestar 2, the automaker simply calls it a fastback, which means you're free to choose your own adventure. The vehicle could be considered a crossover, a four-door coupe, or maybe even a sedan. All of those form factors fit the bill in one way or another, though ultimately it doesn't matter how you classify this model because it's simply excellent. Broadly speaking, there are two flavors of Polestar 2, single motor, which is what I'm testing here, and dual motor. Now the former is front-wheel drive, and the latter, as you might imagine, comes with all-wheel drive. Naturally, there are some significant performance differences between these variations, and to drive that point home, I think it's time for a fancy animated chart. Now we're cooking. So the single motor version has 231 horsepower, while the dual motor features 408. For added oomph, you can also get the dual motor model with an optional performance package, and this increases the horsepower to 476. Torque clocks in at 243, 487, and 502 pound-feet respectively. The single motor model can hit 60 miles per hour in an entirely competent 7 seconds, though the dual motor is, of course, way quicker. It can do the same deed in about 4.5, and the performance pack lowers the time by a further 0.3 of a second. Finally, let's talk about driving range. Single motor versions of the Polestar 2 can go an EPA estimated 270 miles between charges, a good showing, even if it's a bit short of the 300-mile mark we usually like to see. The dual motor model is rated at 249 miles for 2022, though that has increased to 260 for 2023, ditto for models fitted with the performance pack. As for DC fast charging rates, the Polestar 2 initially topped out at 150 kilowatts, but a software update increased that to a respectable 155. Hooked to a DC fast charger, this vehicle should be able to go from a 10% state of charge to 80% in just 30 minutes. Naturally, AC charging, like you would do at home, is much slower, though it's no worse than any other modern EV. Expect 0 to full in around 8 hours. The Polestar 2's cabin is as beautiful as it is ecologically friendly. If you eschew the available Napa leather, this cabin is completely vegan, meaning it contains no animal products whatsoever. No down-stuffed seats, no ivory-trimmed switches, and certainly no floor mats made from the pelts of baby Siberian tigers. I have a pair of pajama bottoms made out of those, and they are so soft. That emphasis on sustainability makes it sound like things might feel a little bit cheap, but that is not the case at all. These soft plastics look great and feel just as good. Models fitted with the available Plus package also feature responsibly harvested ash wood accents treated to a lovely open pore finish. That options group also includes Weave Tech, a lovely wetsuit-like fabric that's made from recycled fibers and is more durable, easier to clean, and lighter than traditional leather. Polestar is also working on new materials made from recycled plastic bottles and even an ersatz carbon fiber containing flax. Aside from interesting and ecological materials, there's plenty more to like about this interior. But if you spend a minute looking around, the Volvo influence becomes obvious. The control stalk, steering wheel button, shifter, and door handles are all pretty much copied and pasted, though this is not a bad thing. In-cabin tech is another huge advantage of this design-focused EV. In front of me is a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster, which is perfectly fine, but the star of the show is this lovely 11-inch touchscreen that's home to an Android-based infotainment system. This is my first experience with Polestar's new multimedia array, and I've got to say, it's already one of my favorites. This system is super responsive, it is immediately intuitive, and it contains a whole bunch of different Google services. There's a Google Assistant, the Google Play Store, and of course, Google Maps. And that last item is particularly awesome because not only is the interface super clean and easy to use, but this system is amazingly responsive and always up to date. Of course, the Polestar 2 has some EV-specific features, and they're very easy to access. It's kind of a reoccurring theme with this system. Just tap the car icon at the top of the screen there, and then jump over to charge. And this is where you can intuitively set the charging limit. Just slide this bar over like that. Super responsive as well. This vehicle also allows you to adjust how many amps it draws, so that prevents you from tripping circuit breakers. And this is something not all EVs have. Finally, very easy to schedule charging. This interface is super responsive and very intuitive. The Polestar 2's back seat is mostly comfortable, even if it still has a big ol' hump in the middle instead of the roomy flat floor you get in many modern EVs. There's plenty of legroom and a good amount of noggin space too, though the rear doors are small and difficult to get through. This Polestar 2 is fitted with a couple options groups, including the Plus package and the Pilot package. Now, the former includes things like a heat pump in the HVAC system, which helps provide more range in cold weather. You also get a wireless charging pad, power front seats, a panoramic glass roof, and a premium Harman Kardon sound system. As for the Pilot package, it includes a 360-degree camera system, which is one of the sharpest that I've seen. You also get an all-around excellent implementation of adaptive cruise control with lane centering. There's rear cross traffic alert with automatic braking, and blind spot monitoring with steering assist. Next, let's talk versatility. The Polestar 2 has a small 1.2 cubic foot front trunk, and if you include the underfloor cubby, 14.3 cubes behind the rear seat. Now, if you fold the split backrests down, you get up to 38.7 cubic feet when loaded to the roof. For a little perspective, that's enough room for some Avlovs and a large lag captain, which combine to form a desk that's about 79 inches long. Now, that expansive work surface will fit in this vehicle, but you do have to push the front passenger seat all the way forward to squeak it in. But still, a win is a win. These items were purchased from a Scandinavian-themed multinational home goods retailer famed for its flat-pack furnishings and lingonberry preserves. Now, I'm not at liberty to say the name of this company, but it does start with an I and ends in Kia. Finally, what don't I like about the Polestar 2's interior? Truthfully, not a lot, but there are a couple things. For starters, this gargantuan center console feels like a waste of space. I really dislike these sun visors because they don't extend, so you get blinded by glare coming in the side window. And lastly, these central air vents look like a complete afterthought. I wonder if Sven, the designer, was on holiday in Spain and didn't get this done before he left, and he comes back to the office and, oh crap, we forgot air vents, where are we gonna put them? Well, I don't know, throw them in next to the speaker and put them behind the screen. It's not really a good position for them. Right out of the gate, a couple of the things I immediately noticed while driving the Polestar 2 is how well it rides and the quietness of the interior. Dual motor models, which this one is not, can be had with adjustable Öhlins dampers as part of the optional performance package. But even without that fancy add-on, the ride here is firm, which keeps the body very well controlled, but it is never harsh or abrasive. Some EVs will bob around like an inflatable dinghy caught in a nor'easter, but this one always feels planted. Interior noise levels are also extremely low, even when driven on bombed out sections of interstate, which we have plenty of here in Michigan. Acceleration here is silky smooth, just not ferocious. The single motor version is plenty quick, though it is not a high performance automobile, especially off the line. The initial accelerator tip-in is soft, like super lethargic. You practically have to go 3/4 of the way to the floor just to get moving, but then past about 10 miles per hour, it feels perfectly normal. So I think the tuning here is just a little bit weird. The Polestar 2 steering is free of harshness or kickback, though it still manages to feel a lot livelier than what you get in many other EVs these days, so hooray for that. You can also adjust the tiller's firmness as well as how aggressive the regenerative braking is, and these are a snap to tweak via the infotainment system right here, and keeping things refreshingly simple. You do not have to dig through like 10 different menus to get to those functions. It's just one tap away, which is a very good thing if you have to make an adjustment, especially while underway. On the road, I think some of those driver aids I mentioned earlier should probably be standard. It's only available in the Pilot package, but blind spot monitoring with steering assist feels particularly necessary. Those rearmost roof pillars are quite large, and they do a great job of blocking visibility. Alrighty, to recap, the Polestar 2 is a compelling EV that drives well and looks great. I love the interior that's not only eco-friendly but comfortable and stylish. That infotainment system is one of the best in the business, an absolute winner. Out and about, the Polestar 2 offers luxury car levels of refinement. And all this wholesome goodness is wrapped in tasteful yet eye-catching bodywork that passers-by notice. As for downsides, there are a few minor complaints. I wish the console were a bit more versatile. Those center air vents on the dashboard make no sense. The sun visors really need to extend. I mean, this is a safety issue, folks. And finally, from a GIT, the acceleration is a bit too dull. There is so much to like about the Polestar 2, including one thing I haven't mentioned yet: pricing. This single motor model checks out for a totally reasonable $55,600, a figure that is padded by a couple options. There's $4,000 for the Plus pack, $3,200 for the Pilot pack, and $1,200 for metallic paint. If you can't get your hands on a 2022, here's how pricing has changed for 2023, and of course it's increased slightly, with every options package creeping up. Premium paint colors are a touch more than before, and the vehicle's destination fee has increased by $100 to $1,400. Now, if you grab a dual motor all-wheel drive model with every available option, you'll be spending around $70 grand, which is a lot of money. Whether you consider it a crossover, a sedan, or maybe even a four-door coupe, it really doesn't matter because overall, the Polestar 2 is an excellent EV. And you know what? So is the Hyundai Ioniq 5. Go watch our full review of this retro-inspired hatchback and learn why it is one of the greatest electric vehicles you can buy today. Now, I know that sounds like hyperbole, but I promise you it is not. The Ioniq 5 absolutely rocks.